So let's get our tag work underway. I'm going to save my work, and then we're going to open up the first section tag for the first page. So we have a figure here, Wichita State University logo. And let's not forget to open our reading order tag. And it looks like it did not tag this heading. We should be able to do that manually, I think. We'll see in a minute. If not, we'll find a workaround. Figure, no alternate text. We need to alt text this image to keep it. I'm going to select the number 1 there. Right click, edit alternate text. And we're just going to say Wichita State University logo. Like that. We've alt texted it. Does not show tagged employee remote work arrangement. So let's see if we can tag that real quick. We can. This is actually the title of the document. So this would be a heading 1. There we go. And we can see here that it's added the heading 1. It's put it above the image. We don't necessarily need it above the image. So I'm going to right click on the heading 1, cut, select the figure, paste. And I can see already that it wants to show the title before that. That's something we'll have to fix in reading order when we get there. Continue down, paragraph. That looks good. Our heading 1 looks good. Our figure looks good. Then it has populated this series of items in a list. The reason it's done it is because it's got a 1, 2, 3, 4 structure, it looks like. It does. Okay. So we've kind of added a level of complication here. Not only is it asking for the questions and the binary or trinary, whatever. I say trinary. I don't even know if that's a word. But anyway, the multiple option answers here. And so we're going to have to do a list. Then we're going to have to enter the text content, and then we're going to have to enter the form fields in. That's a little bit of a complex structure we're looking at there, but we can do it. I would recommend, if you're working on documents, to kind of think about this sort of structure when you're setting it up as to the simplicity of it. Remember, the more complicated something is, the harder it is to remediate it, or the longer the amount of time it will take to remediate it. A lot of times it's both at the same time, but we can make this work. It is a list based on the 1, 2, 3, 4. It has the list items for each line. So it looks like it's tagged it pretty well so far. Each one has a label. And the labels all seem to correspond to the numbers, so that's good. So we need to look at the content that's in the list bodies for each one. Is this request for all remote work to be completed inside the state of Kansas? Yes, no. If no, this is the correct form. Okay, and it has the form attached here. The forms are not attached to the words, so we need to split them out. I can do that very simply. We need our reading order tool opened here. It's more or less made this one giant block of text, which means in the order we would have to drop the form fields at the end of this. We don't want to do that. We want our forms to appear in conjunction with the yes and the no. So I'm going to select yes. Text paragraph. No with the asterisk. Text paragraph. It may have made, if no, its own text item. I hope it had. We'll find out when we get there. We're going to open the list item again. There's the number 1. There's the list body. There's paragraph here. That's the yes. And we don't need that a paragraph tag. It's actually outside where it needs to be. I'm going to cut that. Select the is this request. It needs to be parallel with this. Right click paste. Delete the empty p tag. And we need the form. All in Kansas remote work. One of them will be the yes, one will be the no. There's the yes. Is this request for all remote work? I'm going to right click, new tag, and I want form to be parallel with this request. Like that. I'm going to select all in Kansas remote work. I'm going to cut it, select that form, right click, paste child. Then, oops, I have the form in the wrong place, don't I? I need to actually cut that. Select the yes and paste. And that was actually a confusion on my part because this is a really, really complicated structure to try to organize. So you do yourselves a favor when it comes to tag work by having a simpler structure than this. Okay, let's continue down. We have a no in there. We need to figure out where that is. If no, okay. Oh, body. What did it do with no? You may be noticing that no has been moved somewhere. We don't exactly know where at the moment. Remember what I was saying about it throwing tags in random locations? If I look here, it's nowhere near the list item anymore. But I can see that the number next to it is number 1, saying that it's a number 1 on whatever page it's on. If I come up here and I click the paragraph, there it is. Why? No clue. Just Acrobat sometimes does this stuff. I'll select the no. And I will right click, cut. And that needs to occur after this form element here. Just close it up. You don't want to leave it open and paste it, or it'll paste it underneath. Right click, paste. There's no. There's the form that goes with the no right here. I'm going to select form, right click, cut. Select the no, right click, paste. Close that form. And then we've got the if no. The if no has the line in it. Let's make sure there isn't any other line that we have to deal with. If no, and I'm not sure where it's getting that line, but we certainly don't need it. I'm going to retag this, see if I can isolate that line away from it. It's collecting it from the space above. Okay. Okay, so we're going to try to isolate this. I don't want that line in there. So with my reading order tool opened, I'm going to, you don't have to select from above. You can come below as well. I'm going to come below and see if I can isolate the asterisk line on its own. Yep, we don't have the line there. So I'm going to go ahead and text paragraph that. I'll bet that's it right there. It is. Okay. It split off the line into its own thing, a list body of its own. Right click, change tag to artifact. Don't really need it. Delete the tag. Okay, so reopen our list body here. And the text item here, I'm going to cut it and I'm going to drop it below that last form element. Paste, not paste child. I hovered over that for a second, but I wasn't going to use it. Delete tag there, and there is that first section right there in the list. Okay. Look at our form fields. Everything looks good. Close it up. That's our first list item done. I'm going to go ahead and save. We're making a pretty complicated list with subset stuff in it here. So I don't trust it not to crash, to put it bluntly. As we go, the second item here, it has all of new request, modification request of existing request, and extension of previous request in one item. We need to split that up. So I'm going to select new request. I'm going to text paragraph each of these. And it didn't catch the first time. Let's make it a little bigger. There we go. And the third one, okay. So our label's okay. Our list body here currently has an underline that we're changing to artifact. There'll be 2 or 3 of these, one for each of the form field elements. We do want a list body in there though, so we don't necessarily want to delete that tag. And remember what I was saying about it not understanding sometimes the order of things like this. You can see that the reading order is bizarre. It may fix it as we go. We'll just have to find out as we go. But new request should be before the form field, right? And this is one of those checkboxes where the form field is to the left and it doesn't understand it natively. So it has done something strange there with the order. We'll fix that as we go. I'm going to select new request in the paragraph. I'm going to cut it, select the list body here and paste. And I think I would paste that as a child. Yes, I would. Okay, that's an empty P tag. We can delete that. The second L body here, it's made more L body stuff and we don't need it. So I'm going to open it. It's a line, change to artifact, delete the L body tag. Another paragraph, that's a modification to existing request. The form fields are going to come between these when we get to them. Cut, select new request, right click paste. And it's an empty P tag. We can delete it. Another L body with a line in it, change to artifact. Delete the empty L body tag. Extension of previous request right there. And we're going to cut that and we're going to paste it after modification to existing request. There's our text items. So we need to find our forms, delete the empty P tag, and we need to find out what it's done with our form fields. And this is another of those things where we might have to hunt. And sure enough, I had to hunt. For some reason, when I arrow down, it's taken all of the form fields for the following stuff and tucked them with this heading 4 right here. So we're going to open that. And all of the form fields are in there. Okay. We want to be mindful of that. Look at all those form fields in there, all in the incorrect structure. That is really weird. But it's the sort of thing this application does. You just want to be mindful that it throws stuff around sometimes for no apparent reason. I'm going to click new request, new tag, form, and I'm going to do one of these after all 3 options. New tag after modification, form, new tag after extension, and also form. Okay, so looks like our first 3 items under the misplaced forms are those 3 items. The first one is the new request item. And with these, they're not going to specify the answer. We have to actually arrow through to see which one corresponds to which one. The first one is new modification or extension and goes to the new request. Right click cut. I'm going to go to the new request form right here. Right click paste child. And next is this new modification or extension. This is the second one, the modification to existing request. Right click, cut, go to the form underneath, right click, paste child. And this is the final one, the extension of previous request one. Right click, cut, select form, right click, paste child. Okay, so that should bring us up to this list item. And let's have a look here. This body, new request form. I'm following up and just looking at my work here because this is a really complex structure. And I want to make sure that I haven't messed anything up, so to speak. Keep everything neat and orderly. I'm going to save. And that brings us to the number 3 item here. Labels there, labels okay, request for work. Again, it has made it a single line. When I go to retagging, it's probably going to close this H4 again, which means we'll have to pop it back open. So make a mental note that all of the rogue form fields are actually living under this H4. So you don't start searching all over again. Just sort of mentally note it, or if you need to, write it on a post-it note, or maybe pull up your text pad and put it in there, something like that. Okay, so let us isolate the different text items here. Request for remote work, temporary, and permanent. Okay. And there's our label. Again, this time it dropped the paragraph above the list body for some reason. We're going to, in this list body, we have the underline. We don't want it. Change tag to artifact. But we want the list body itself because the list body is going to house all our items, of course. So I'm going to select request for remote work to be. I'm going to right click cut, and then I'm going to select that list body, right click paste child, delete the empty paragraph tag. Okay. Getting a little tricky with our organization here. Again, these are probably our 2 paragraph items here that we're going to put our form fields associated with. Temporary here. I'm going to cut and paste after request for remote work. Delete the empty tag. And same with permanent. Cut. Select temporary. Paste. The L body here, the extra L body is an underline like the other one was. Changed artifact. Delete that empty tag. Delete the paragraph tag under it. And we need our form elements here. So under each of these paragraph items, I'm going to, well, no, we're not going to add one under request for remote work. We just need temporary and permanent. So temporary, new tag, form, permanent, new tag, form. Okay. We're going to go down to our H4. It did not close it. It left it open, which is unusual, but we'll go with it. I'm going to right click on the first one. I can see that it's the first one when I highlight it. And I'm going to cut it, come to the form under temporary, right click, paste child. Find my second one that corresponds to permanent, right click, cut. Select the form, right click, paste child. Okay. And that is our third list item with all of its forms and such in place. I'm going to save it. And we've only got these last 3 in the form section there, so we're doing good. Again, we're probably going to have to isolate each of these as a separate piece of text. List item 4. List item's okay. Yep, it's all one line. And so I'm going to grab each line and paragraph text it, or each element of the line, I should say. Okay. That should get us our 4 items. We can see them go in there. Again, it's dropped the paragraph item above the list body. Not a big deal. All the list bodies, as we've seen, are going to be underlines. Grab the first underline in a list body, change to artifact. Okay. Keep the empty tag, open the paragraph tag above it, select type of remote work arrangement, right click, cut. Select the L body underneath it that's empty, right click, paste child. Delete the empty paragraph tag. Next paragraph tag, these are where our options start: occasional, temporary, and regular. I'm going to take occasional, right click, cut, paste it after type of remote work arrangement, delete the empty tag. We have another underline, change tag to artifact, delete the L body tag, open the paragraph for temporary, right click, cut, select occasional. We're pasting it right after that. delete the empty paragraph tag. Another L body with an underline, change tag to artifact. Delete the empty L body tag, and that should bring us to our last paragraph tag, regular, cut, select temporary, right click, paste. Select the paragraph tag and delete it. File save. We're ready for the form fields. So I'm going to do form fields for occasion, temporary, and regular. When you're doing this, it's going to be really tempting. I almost did it on the first one to select the first one, type of remote work arrangement, and paste a form field after that. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure to remember to do it the way I'm doing it here. It only connects to these three. Occasional, right click new tag form. We're going to add a form under occasional, temporary, and regular. Okay. Like the others, the three form fields under the H4 are in the right order, so it's not a big deal. I'm going to right click the first one, cut, go to occasional form, right click, paste child. We've got the second one here, right click, cut. Under temporaries form, right click, paste child. And type of work arrangement, right click, cut. And again, under form, right click, paste child. Okay, we've got an empty form tag there. We can delete it. And that is the final list item assembled. So we've got that list all done, and we're ready to move on to the next item. Like always, we want to save our work. I've already saved this, but remember, we're working in lists and things here, and it may give us issues down the road. One thing I'll point out here that's really neat is that as we've gone through and we've restructured this list item, or this list in general, with the form fields, a lot of the stuff that was out of order moved itself into correct order. So for example, here, under this line 2 new request, I would assume that's probably 8 to 9. Notification 10 to 11. Extension of previous request goes 12 to 13. And we can see in items 3 and 4 that it's also doing the correct order. It arranged the order as we placed the tags in the correct positioning. That is encouraging. But one thing to remember here is if I look up at the top, the image is 4, the no is 1, and the form field after the no is 2. That is very wrong. And we will have to correct that in the reading order when we get over on that pane. It may provide some challenges in that typically when you have to move things in reading order in a list, it tends to break the list somewhat in tags and you have to reconstruct it. That's one of those things is sort of those, it is what it is things. You just have to do it. There's no real answer for that. And a lot of that is caused by, again, the complexity of the structure you're working with. Acrobat is trying to make things make sense to itself, and you're telling it you want it to make sense in the way you want to present it. So we'll get there when we get there. But right now, let's keep on going down with our tags. We're ready for the next section, remote work employee information. That is the heading 4 that all those weird forms were stuck in. And it is most definitely not a heading 4. If we look at the organization of the document, employee remote work arrangement is the heading 1. It's the title. So this is a heading 2. It's a subdivision underneath or a part of that. Like if this was a novel's title, this would be a chapter, right? So we want to change that heading 4 to a heading 2. So I'll right click on the heading 4 once it's selected, click properties, and switch it over to heading level 2. We have a style span in there. A style span like that usually corresponds to the underline. If you use an underline on something, it will tend to do that. We can see if we can just reduce it to plain paragraph text here. I don't like to leave style spans. I don't think they cause any issue, but I like to play it safe. I'm going to highlight this. Actually, I probably should have done this before the heading 4, but it is what it is. And I'm going to set it to heading 2. Okay. So it changed that to a heading 2. and got rid of the style span. Okay, that'll work for me. It has retained the other heading too, though. So I'm going to come to remote work employee information. I'm going to cut it, select the heading 2 here, the one outside, right click, paste child to make it parallel with the H2. Just delete the empty H2 tag. Okay, save. And now we're moving down into the forms, employee name and WSU ID. This is the form field for that, but it's connected to the wrong piece of text. Let's go find the right one. Again, we have another list listing the form sections. So we're going to be following a very similar process to what we did up here. We have to build out these list sections as we go. As we continue down here, this is this list, and it has these different list items. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 has 10 list items. So we're going to start with the first one here. That should be employee name, WSU ID. If I open the first list item, there's our label. That'll be the number. The list body is employee name, WSU ID. That's right. But the form it has attached to it is actually wrong. It goes to the one underneath. So it's kind of scrambled up its own order here as it's tried to organize it. We're going to need to fix that as we go. It's also seemed to make a giant lump of text out of some stuff here. We're going to have to separate out. Employee name and WSU ID. I'm going to right click on form, cut, select the text that it goes with, right click, paste. So that's a proper heading on its own the way it should be now. In our list item label, L body is this. And that's really all there is in that list body. Yeah. There is another form here. It goes under job title. And that's going to go in its own space. It's actually above where it needs to occur. So we're going to find it. We're going to open the next list item. The label is fine. List body job title. Yeah. For some reason, it popped that above. But we can move it below. We'll just select the form for the job title field there. Right click on form, cut, select job title, right click, paste. Okay, so that fixes that one up. We close that one. We're going to open the next one, and I just left that open to keep a mental organization. Save. Third one here, label. This is where I imagine we're going to have to be cutting some stuff up. Label body. Sure enough, there's a bunch of stuff that's all made in one lump. It has only 2 of the form fields in it. It's probably looks like it's trying to assign the second line ones to the next one down. We'll want to be mindful of that. But we'll start constructing it as best we can here. First thing we need to do is separate out the text items so that properly go in here. Workload FTE, text paragraph. Yeah, it's interesting. Basically what it did there was it had a moment where it went, whoa, you're tasking an awful lot of the memory here. And I am. So I'm going to be saving more frequently now. But let's have a look at what it did. Yep, it made our proper tag. Okay. That was a bit of a warning sign that it may cause some issues as we move forward here in crashing and such. Okay, so I'm going to select the next piece of text. Text paragraph it. Yep, it's being a little bit grumpy about it now. Close and open reading order again. Select the next one up to 0.50. Text paragraph. Close, open. The up to 0.75. I will bet a lot of my viewers right now are kind of nervous about what's going on with this. Oh, and the little text panels you see above at the top right, that's my helper Jay. You might have met Jay before. Jay is good help with PDF issues and Acrobat issues. And he's just telling me he was out helping someone today get something running that didn't want to work for them. So sounds like that's going good. Okay, so we've got our label here. That's fine. Paragraph, once more, it's sticking it above the item. And I'm betting all of our L bodies here will be underlines. So we can go ahead. I'm going to just change tag to artifact on all of them, get that done and over with. Okay, delete out the empty tags. Shortcuts will present themselves every now and then. There's one more of those. We can get rid of it. But we need our stuff. We need to keep a list body tag for our content to go in. First one here, workload FTE, paragraph tag, right click, cut that subset in list body. So paste child. We can delete the paragraph tag. And we've got our 4 items here. It's being a bit touchy about them. So remember, just trying to be careful here, because that is a suggestion that it isn't feeling very stable and it might crash on me at any time. And I don't want to lose work due to a crash. I'm going to cut and paste each of these to be parallel with workload, like you saw me do on the previous list. Okay, we don't need any of the paragraph tags. I'm going to use my shift click trick to select the 4 empty paragraph tags and delete them. I'm going to save. Now we need the form field tags for that list item in the right place. Do they all live under one form? They don't. A couple of them do. Workload, the first one does. The one to 0.25 for here, we can do that. I'm going to go ahead under each of these up tos. Remember, workload is not one of these. We don't want a form associated with that. It's just for the 4 after. And I'm going to add my new tag form after each one. Okay. The first one here under the actual forms corresponds to the 1 to 2.5, this one here. So I'm going to right click, cut, select the form parent tag below it, right click, paste child. The second one here corresponds to the 0.50, right click, cut. And there it is, right click, paste child. Delete the empty form tag and save. And let's see, I'm betting that the next 2 actually ended up in FSLA status. We're going to see here. And it doesn't appear that they're there. So we need to figure out where they went. And so we'll just arrow through, up and down arrow till we find them. It looks like it dropped them in another list item entirely. Did we save? We did. Okay. So Acrobat is being very grumpy with us right now. We do not want to miss out on a save. It looks like both those form fields are in the same form here. There they are. Okay. This is the third option. It really doesn't like how this is organized, and the level of complexity here may be pushing its functionality. We're going to right click on the first one, cut, and select the form it goes with up to 0.75. That's correct. Select the form underneath it, right click, paste child. And the final one goes to the 1.0, right click, cut, find the form underneath, right click, paste child. And that is somehow with no crashes, the entirety of item 3 in this list, which brings us to item 4. Let's go ahead and save it. Yeah, the nice thing about this next one is it's pretty simple. It's just a single one with 2 options in it. So let's find that list item here. List item. This is our complete one above. This is the one here. The label is 4. The list body is sure enough all one thing. We need to split up the text. So I'll select FLSA status. And it's going to probably do that until we get out of this list. This list is pretty complex. Text paragraph that. Reopen our reading order tool. And non-exempt. Okay. Reopen it, save it. Okay, so again, we've got a bunch of L bodies with lines in them, which is fine. Change those to artifact. There we go. Remember, we need to keep list body with the label here, and FLSA status goes in that list body. Right click, cut, paste it as child in the L body. Delete the empty paragraph tag. And they are exempt and non-exempt. Here are those 2 pieces of text. Select exempt, cut, select FLSA status and paste. Select non-exempt, right click, cut, select exempt, right click and paste. Empty paragraph tag we don't need. We have actually 3 tags here that are empty. I can select them all using my shift click and just delete all 3 empty tags. There we go. The form for FLSA status, this one corresponds to the non-exempt, looks like. Yeah, so I'm going to actually cut the form, select non-exempt above, and paste. There we go. We need to find the one for exempt, so let's go ahead and save. And there's the one for that way down here. Right click, cut, select exempt, right click, paste. And that gives us that list item. We've got some things for list item 5 that have ended up baked into it for some reason. They'll have to move down. This time I'm not going to close this list item. I'm going to leave it open because we have elements of the next list item caught in it for some reason. I'm just going to come down. And this is kind of where it gets a little bit complicated. Kind of have to pay really close attention to your tags here so you don't get lost. This is actually this list item here, the one that we need to be building now. There's the list label 5. The list body is department. That is correct. It needs the form that's attached to it, and it is not leader. So it's kind of doing some strange things with the structure. It's taking form fields from below and moving them up above. That is probably due to the weirdness up here in the workload, where it goes over 2 lines. It tried to assign, if you remember, at the bottom 2 to FLSA status. When I moved them around, it confused it for the moment. So we've already saved. You're going to see me trying to save a lot here because I'm afraid it's going to crash. Crashes, I want to have the latest version absolutely possible saved. I don't want to be doing this starting from beginning or starting with a bunch of stuff untagged, so to speak. Department here. There's our form for department. I'm going to cut that. Go to department, right click and paste. That's now where it needs to be, which means that our above list item should be corrected. It is. I'll go ahead and close it. Save it. And list item for this one contains department. It has an additional form in it for leader because it's confused. We're going to go down to the next list item where that will actually go. Open it up. There's 6 and there's leader. Leader has a line with it. Yep, it's for some reason trying to keep that line at the very end of it. I'm going to select leader by itself. Text paragraph it. That's probably it right there. It is. Okay, label. That actually goes in the L body instead of this underline. We're going to right click, change that to artifact. And remember, we don't want to delete this empty tag. We want to move leader into it as subset. So I'm going to select leader, right click, cut, select L body, right click, paste child. Delete the paragraph tag. We got the label. We're building this. We now need the form from up here. I'm going to select the form it lives in. Right click, cut, select leader, right click, paste. And it looks like that completes out that list item. And in the process, we corrected the list item above it. Okay, good. That brings us to number 7. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Okay, and I see up here that I have a previous list that is opened. I'm going to go ahead and close that. We want to avoid that confusion if possible. Department we just did. Leader we just did. We're on this one, which again has pulled some stuff from one underneath it. The label is 7. This body assigned work prior to remote work. Doesn't look like we have any lines caught there, so that's good. Style span. The underline running across, we don't need that. Right click, change tag to artifact. Delete out the style span tag. There we go. I accidentally tried to artifact it. Okay, so we've got assigned a work site here. This looks like it contains a couple different forms in it. The form underneath it, it does. It contains the form for the one underneath it as well. I'm not going to move that form yet, but what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and correct this location in the tree. We'll move the other one when we get to the point of doing it. And right click on form and click cut. Select assigned work site, click paste. Okay. And then we can move the other one when we get to the point of doing so. Save. Next one here, requested alternate work location. And it has a bunch of stuff in it. It shouldn't as well. The label's okay. List body, requested alternate work location with an underline. We don't want the underline. So I'm going to select requested alternate work location. Text paragraph it. There it is. And again, we're going to change the line in the L body to artifact. Cut the requested alternate work location from the paragraph tag and paste this as a child in the list body. Then we're going to delete the empty paragraph tag. Requested alternate work location, that's right here. So under here, I'm going to right click, new tag for requested alternate work location, set to form. That's what I want. Select that from the above form tag where it shouldn't be occurring, right click and cut. Select form, right click, paste child. There we go. That gets that list item done and corrects the one above it in the process. So close that one. And I don't think we have any hanger on content. No, it looks like we might. Yep, we've got a form living in there that shouldn't be there. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that one open. Save. Go to the next list item here, which is remote work start date. The label looks like it's okay. The list body is actually okay on this one. We just need to plug the right form in. I believe that's this form. Okay, it is. So I'm going to right click, cut, select remote work start date, paste. That one was pretty simple. Close it up. Close up the one above it, I should say. Save it. And it doesn't look like the next one has any stuff that's thrown around. So that's good. And it's the last list item. So we're not going to lose our place here visually. Our label is okay. Our list body is remote work. End date or anticipated. I'm going to select the form because I'll bet, yep, it's right. Select the form tag, right click, cut it. Select remote work end date, right click, paste. Okay, that will end the list. That was quite a list. We can see if I click there that it's all organized now. And I'm going to close that. And it looks like it quit doing that weird visual thing where it made the tags disappear. It's probably because Adobe caught up with itself. It's understanding what I'm doing a little better now. Heading 4, style span. It doesn't need to be a style span. It's trying to span it because it has an underline in it. So I'm just going to select it here and make it a heading 2 on the button. Changed it to heading 2. As a heading 2, set in a heading 4. That, of course, makes no sense. So what I'm going to do is select the heading 2 it sits in, right-click, cut. Select the list that occurs right above it, and it's all closed. You want it all closed to do this. You don't want it to inset inside the list. That would be bad. Right-click, paste. Select the empty H4, delete it. Okay. So we've got the heading for the next section now. Save. I have a paragraph text here. That's what that is. So that's good. And we have another paragraph for remote work arrangement review date, a form in it. And that form is correct. So that is completely tagging the first page. It's all done. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to go through page 1's reading order and fix anything that's out of place.